I'm Sloane. I'm 15 years old, and I love the NBA. Today, we have a very cool guest joining us. He's the man behind all the awesome NBA 2K video games that everyone loves to play. He's always hanging out with all the coolest influencers and playing in the gaming world, and today he's hanging out with me. How cool is that? We are talking to the one and only Ronnie 2K. So Ronnie, I'm 15 years old, and I'm in 9th grade, okay?
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're in 9th grade, or when you're 15, you can be in 10th grade, so both ways. But I need you to, think about Ronnie when he was 15.
I was in 11th grade, actually.
Wow, look at you, little prodigy. Okay.
I skipped a grade when I was in 1st grade.
Oh, wow.
So,
you're so
me at 15. Okay, so this is going to be very hard to believe. I'd say at 13, I was the shortest kid in my class. So I was
wow. Okay.
I was 4'8", and then I had a 10-inch growth spurt in 9th grade.
10 inches.
Yeah, and then another 8 inches in 11th grade, and then I had another one in college.
Oh my! Did you
I mean, I had to grow the 2 feet to make 6'6" now.
Yeah. You're 6'6"?
Yeah, I'm like 6'5", 6'6".
I'm feeling skeptical about this. I think you were listed
I mean,
at 6'2". Let's see if this is real.
Get out of
fact checkers. I don't know. I may have to. Yeah, I'm only 5'4", which is okay. I don't think I need. It's fine. I'm not going to pursue a career in that. It's relative. So I think it's fine.
My wife is 4'11".
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
There's that.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
We all grow at our own pace.
That's right.
So
she's still waiting for her growth.
Yeah, exactly. So because you were 4'8", but then 6'2", and then maybe apparently 6'6", did you play basketball? What was that like for you?
So I picked up basketball late. I picked it up in 6th grade. And I really fell in love with the game to the point where I was playing 4 hours a day, any game that I could find. And then in high school, I was a late bloomer. And I think a lot of it had to do with every time I shot, the basket got closer because I was growing.
Yeah.
You know, so my game kind of evolved a lot late high school and early college. And then early college, my second year, I tore my MCL. So I never played again after that, on a collegiate level. But up until that point, I had a good 2-3 year window where I was playing high school and college at a high level. I sucked in 9th, 10th grade, even before that. But I think my thing, which is kind of funny because my career was the same way, I had to work and work and work and work to be a really good player. It worked out, I guess.
Yeah. Did you play AAU or?
No, I played CYO in middle school. Again, wasn't as good as the AAU kids, and then I played in high school, and then I played at UC San Diego.
And you grew up a Warriors fan, or you grew up in Northern California?
I grew up in Northern California, but I was definitely a 49ers fan and a San Francisco Giants fan. But with basketball, for whatever reason, I never connected with a team. It just never happened, and I still actually am not connected to a team.
Yeah,
I always followed certain players that I really like. So my early days was Michael Jordan. I know you're 15. I hope you know.
I'm familiar with Michael Jordan. Thank you. Yes.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Also familiar.
Yes, and then Kevin Durant most recently. So wherever KD goes, that's the team that I kind of root for. And
were you a gamer? Did you like video games?
I was a big gamer though. My era when I was 15, Nintendo 64. I still can go back and destroy anyone in most of those games. Mario Kart, Smash Brothers. I put this out there because I feel like if I could have played those games competitively, I was really that good. But I was a huge fan of Zelda, so I'm excited for next month's Tears of the Kingdom release. And so I maintained being a gamer, but for a long time it was Nintendo products, and then early Xbox Halo and those games. And that's when I got to play a lot. Just high school, college, you play, you get a lot of time to play.
Have you gone to Mario Kart World at Universal?
I'm going on Friday.
Seriously, can you take me with you? I really want to go. I really want to go.
I have to ask the wife. It's our 6-month
wife. I want to go. What's her name?
Her name's Cece.
Cece, bring me. I really want to go.
I'll
it can be a
ask her.
trial. I'll be your little kid. Okay. Great.
Sounds great.
You can put me in the stroller. It'll be fun. I really want to try, they have these, bread bowl thingies.
Really?
And you can, I don't know how it has to do with Mario Kart.
What else do you know about this place?
That's literally the only thing I know.
Okay.
I don't even know what the ride is.
I was hoping they had, the Japan experience where you could drive around the streets and
that place
play
is
Mario
so sick.
Kart.
I doubt they have this. Universal Studios, that's a small area.
I bet you they do it eventually.
I'm sure.
But I'm excited.
You should do that.
I'm definitely excited.
2K World, like a
2K World.
amusement park.
Yeah.
Sick. I can help you start that if you'd like.
Can't
It'd be
wait.
really helpful for
I'm
your
excited.
brain. Yes,
We're brainstorming.
Great. I'm glad. If 15-year-old you saw yourself now, what would the reaction be? Because you've had a career path that is filled with many surprises. So how is that? What would that look like?
Definitely shocked. The fact that like to do this thing in sports and gaming, two things that I really loved when I was 15, is pretty exciting. Maybe I would have been like, oh yeah, of course, because like everybody at 15 is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. But no, that wasn't the goal. You know, like I had a lot of pressure. As an Indian first generation kid. My parents put a lot of pressure on me to go to postgraduate school. I was the first one in my family to go to college. So like it was computer science, or it was being a doctor, or it was being something like that. I settled on law after a little while, and thank God I didn't do that, because that would have been terrible.
What type of law?
I really wanted to be a sports agent.
Okay.
So staying in the sports thing, but like I was inspired by Jerry Maguire. You know what that is?
I do. Ronnie, I'm an NBA podcaster.
I'm going to keep doing
I'm not an idiot.
I'm going to keep messing with you.
Yes, but so you've been working with 2K since 2010, right? Or like since then?
No, 2008.
2008. Okay. I'm sorry. I was
a
baby there, so at that time, so I'm sorry if my
wasn't that the year you were born?
I was born in 2007, but September. So like I was like
That's
barely,
crazy.
yeah. It's sometimes I tell players, I'm like, the year you were drafted, I was not alive. So
my career can almost drive. That's crazy.
Yes. Speaking of that, I got my permit. I had my first driving lesson last week. I didn't hit anything, so that was big.
You have plenty of time to do that. So
yeah. Oh, don't worry, I will. I don't think it's gonna come. I feel very bad for Los Angeles County when I start to drive.
Hide your kids.
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
I'm scared, but. Which cover since 2008 has been your favorite?
I mean, most connected obviously with 2K11, because like that was the first time we put Michael Jordan on the cover, and like obviously he was my idol growing up, and so that was really exciting. I'd say like the best like aesthetically was either the 2K20 cover with Dwayne Wade, where that like kind of these colors, like the Miami colors, or the year before with LeBron with the black and gold with the words. I like him very like words on covers to tell stories. Like I'm really connected with those two for those examples. There was Easter eggs in both of them. Like I think we did a really good job in those. Recently, we've gotten back into like kind of like the iconic hero shots, which are great, but like as a marketer, as a storyteller, like I was connected with those a little bit more.
So I feel like we talked about how you're like pretty smart. It's impressive. Law school, cool. But here's my question for you.
Okay.
So there's 30 teams in the NBA, and each team plays 82 games. Do you know how many total games there are in a season?
You're trying to trick me.
Of course I am.
Well, so
this is your math test.
It takes 2 teams to play.
Yes, it takes
2
2
teams to play.
So that means
82 divided by 2 is 41 times 30 is 1230. Is that right?
Oh my God! Wait, you must have known that, right?
I got an 800 on my math SAT. Do they do SATs now?
Yes,
still?
unfortunately.
I'm just going to keep doing this.
Wow,
I'm going
that
to
was
keep leaving
crazy. Wait, no. Like when I wrote that question, I was like, this is going to be so fun. I'm going to stop him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you. Okay. I may
Basic math.
Can I hire you to be my honors geometry tutor? And you heard that, honors.
I was like really, really good at algebra. But you've already done algebra. But you have probably algebra too, right?
Honors algebra too. Yeah. I'm scared.
I do it.
Like I'm questioning it.
Yeah.
So
I had younger brothers, so like I know. And then you have calculus after that.
Yes.
I sucked at calculus. So
I'm not a math person, but now that with my new tutor, I'm so excited for. Let's see how this goes.
No problem.
But on to the 1,230 games.
Yep.
To give ratings out to every single NBA player, that's a pretty impressive thing to do. How many of those games do you think you watch?
Well, we have a team that does the rating stuff beyond me, but I'd say that I probably watch right around maybe like 100 games a year. I watch a lot. Okay. I used to watch a lot more when like there's a lot of distractions these days between getting married and everything else. But
and coming on the amazing Sloane podcast,
great podcasts like this one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like probably 100, and I'd probably go to like maybe 25, 30 games a year, all over in every market. Well, this year I've been to Madison Square Garden, I've been to Phoenix, I've been to Sacramento, I've obviously been to Chase Center, I've been to Staples for both teams.
Crypto.
Crypto. Sorry,
Not okay?
I'm never gonna do it.
Yeah,
That's
it
fine.
feels so unnatural.
I'm never gonna call it crypto.
It doesn't work.
For a long time, I did the same thing. Like Candlestick turned into 3Com.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? What is that? I don't know what 3Com is.
But Candlestick at the same time.
No, Candlestick was like an
bizarre.
iconic name, but it's again before your time.
Yeah, no, I miss
the
Rip
Niners won. The
Staples.
Niners won 5 Super Bowls when it was called Candlestick.
Big time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited for that. That doesn't seem like it's going in a good direction then for like the new stadium, does it?
Yeah, they have
the team.
that. Yeah, I don't like the new stadium.
Mm-hmm. Or just what about the team?
The team's great. The team should have won the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years and blew it. But I think they'll win this year.
That's positive. That's not what I've been hearing from others, but let's see how that goes. So can you explain to the listeners, like the process behind your team in choosing the rating for each player?
Yeah, so there's like 30 plus mini attributes, everything from like the tangible things like shooting percentage and all of that to like the kind of like, IQ things, like the mental aspect of the game, health, stamina. Like it's a variety of things that kind of like put together in a formula and spit out a number. There's no subjectivity. It's all based on like what you do on the court will translate to what your rating is in the game. Obviously, over the years, that's kind of changed. Like I'd say there's 2 huge changes, right? The game itself has changed. Like when I watched when I was younger, when I was 15, obviously it was a much more 2-point game, a lot of stuff in the paint. Like a lot of the great players were like post players. That's obviously changed, with Steph Curry and Dame and everybody else. And so that's been an evolution. But then I'd say the other evolution is the way our game has changed. So like my first few years at 2K, we didn't have any legends in the game. And then all of a sudden we added almost every legend in the game from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and aughts, right? And so like we had to all of a sudden compare all of these players against each other. So that like just kind of stretched it out. There aren't any current 99s, right? Like the only 99 in the game is 95, 96 Michael Jordan. And so like everybody kind of follows and trails behind that. So that kind of like changed things for us. But yeah, a lot goes into it, and it's really funny because like these players care so much. They get so mad at me. They get so mad in general. But the great thing about it is it's something that they control, right? Like you want a better rating,
it's up to them. Mm-hmm.
Go ball out, go do your thing. But it's amazing. Obviously, it's a great marketing vehicle for us and gets a lot of people talking.
Oh, for sure. It's exciting. So I like to ask players, what was your welcome to the league moment? But for you, sort of, what do you think your I made it moment was? Like, when did you just sit down and you were like, this is just sick?
I mean, there's been a lot of moments that have been like just things that I'd never imagined doing, obviously playing celebrity games and doing that. But I'd say the one that like stands out to me, because it was like early in like the thing, like I had a couple moments, but like I had maybe like 25, 30,000 Twitter followers at the time. And there was a Sunday game. I think it was NBA 2K14. Hassan Whiteside had got a triple-double. I can't believe he's been playing that long. That's crazy now to think about it. Anyway, he got a triple-double with blocks. Not assists.
Yeah.
Points, rebounds, blocks. And it was a nationally televised game, and they asked him like, "Hey, why'd you play so well?" And he's like, "Oh, I was just trying to get my 2K rating up."
Wow.
On national TV. And like for us, like now that happens all the time, but like at that moment it was like a really kind of wow. Like why this guy played well because he was worried about his 2K rating. The next day he went on Mike and Mike, and they're like, who are famous people that reached out to you? Because we saw Rihanna reach out to you. We saw yada yada yada. The list went left and right. And he said me. And Mike and Mike
in the same conversation.
Yeah,
I
was
love
like
it.
Mike and Mike were like they went silent because I don't think at the time they knew who I was. But obviously for him to like react that way, that's just kind of one memorable moment. There's been
but that's amazing.
Many over the course of the past 15 years, but that one was pretty funny.
That is pretty cool. So I know you talked about how you don't necessarily have a team that you specifically love and how you're more of like a player guy. But I was in your shoes, I think I would have a really hard time separating, being a fan and loving all of these guys from actually trying to put out these real legit ratings. How do you separate those two
I
things?
think that's the bias that you can't have, right? Like, you can't be a polarizing figure and like lean towards one team. You just have to be a professional. And I think that's why it's worked, Like, I don't really have affiliations with teams. And even where people know who I'm friends with in the league, and like I wouldn't say they've gotten any preferential treatment. If anything, it's been harder for them. So to be a professional, of course we're all fans. Of course we love what we do, but we need to maintain some sort of like professionalism to like, not be kind of swept up by the system. As a podcaster, I'm sure you deal with the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid to talk about my Warriors fandom, but, I try to keep it a little bit on the down low when I'm talking to Cavs or guys like that.
Do you think they're going to win the championship, by the way?
I think Andrew coming back is going to be really helpful. I think Gary Payton II being back is a huge win. And I think they'll get out of the West. And I just think that the West.
Wow. Really?
This is a hot take. Great.
It's not a hot take. Actually, a lot of people are saying that.
A lot of people feel that way. I just think that the West is sort of inexperienced, and I'm sort of a little bit of a Nuggets hater in the way that I respect Jokic, I respect Jamal Murray, but I feel sort of that they just don't have enough experience. They just haven't been there enough times. Sort of same with the Grizzlies. I mean, the Kings definitely don't have enough experience, and the Suns have barely played together. So, I mean, then you look at it and it's like the Warriors or the Clippers.
Those are the top four, yeah.
And the Clippers don't have Paul George, so you're stuck with my voice.
No, I think that's a good way of thinking of it. I would say that Phoenix, like, even though they don't have as much depth, maybe as the Warriors, they're a better defensive squad, and they're definitely a better offensive squad. So, like, that's
you're confident saying that.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, those four guys, I think I actually had the Warriors winning last year. I think their defense is going to be an issue this year.
I mean, I think it's interesting. It will be interesting to see Andrew's impact on the defense.
For sure.
Because, we've seen...
And GP, for sure. Both of them.
For sure. But, I mean, we've seen games where Andrew's been... You look at him and you're like, that's a first-team all-defense guy. He's just insane. And then there's games where he barely shows up, So I think that's... And Steph does this thing that I think people don't realize is that he's sneaky good on defense.
He is.
And if that shows up, I think
But as an off-ball guy, right? Like, you still need your stoppers. I mean, Clay has been amazing this year, but like people don't remember with him, like, an ACL is tough to come back from, and it takes 2 years usually, and he's done it in like a year and a half, which is so damn impressive. But you can tell he's a half step slower on defense. For sure. And that's okay. Yeah. Like, he just hit 300 threes. He had more 3-pointers than he's ever had. So what he's done this year has been tremendous, and hopefully that carries the Warriors over. But I think that where they fall short might be a little bit on the defensive side.
Well, hopefully they don't fall short.
We'll see.
Prayers. So it's great that we were talking about like a semi-hot take, because this is what my favorite segment is. So Kelly Oubre Jr., right?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful man. So this segment, Stephen A. Smith has some pretty hot takes, right?
Okay.
But his takes aren't hotter than Kelly Oubre Jr. necessarily. But you know whose takes are hotter than Kelly Oubre Jr.?
Who?
Yours and mine in 1 second, okay?
Okay.
So really hot. Like, think about those green eyes. Like, think about when he just like goes up for the poster and he just comes down and he like...
You've thought about this a lot.
I think about this every day, every night. They have to be hot, like tattoos, the whole thing. Tsunami Poppy type takes.
Wow.
So we're going to get into it.
Okay,
ready?
Yep.
Got to be hot. You promise?
Sure. We'll
Kelly,
do my best.
I don't know. We'll see. Okay. On a scale of 1 through 10, how good are you at 2K?
9.
Really? Do you think others would agree with that, or that's your personal?
I think that like people want to think that I'm worse, and I'm not as good as I used to be. Like, I don't have as much time to play, but I just went on this tour around the NBA. I played 20 NBA guys around the country, and really good players. I'm sure we're going to talk about some of the best ones. And I went 19-1.
Wow.
So, and then we just had this thing at Tissot. I did like a marketing thing where we had like fans come from at All-Star actually. Mm-hmm. And everybody was expecting to like just run over me, and I went 8-0. So like, I still know what I'm doing. Obviously, like don't have as much time to play. And our game is just so amazing because it's so large, right? Like there's so many ways to play. You can play in the park, which is different. You can play my team, which is different. You can play a quick game, which is different. So like to be really good at the game, you have to be really good at all of those. And I don't know that many people that are better than me.
On to that, which NBA player is the best?
Well, I always said Paul George, and then I smoked him by 20 points a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not sure anymore.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Probably him. He is really good. I know he plays the city all the time. The funny thing is we can look up all the players of all, all their hours, right? So like I get a lot more information than most people. He plays a lot. DeAndre Ayton plays a lot. Jamal Murray plays a lot. It's I mean, like we're talking about some of the best players on each of these teams. Kevin Durant plays a lot. So, but yeah, I would hold out with PG. Oh, for sure. Like I actually think it works both ways, right? Like they have an advantage because that playbook gets beat into their brains at practice, like over and over every single day. Yeah. And like our game is so authentic that that's what they kind of are ingrained to see. So I think it helps them. Like they see off-ball movement, they see like kind of sets and stuff like that. They know what play is coming before because our AI is so good that I think it definitely helps them. And then it obviously inspires them to take that to the court. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship.
You should get a ring for that because like if they're simming the finals.
I've got a ring. I've got a ring.
Really?
I've actually got a Warriors ring.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
How much for it?
I didn't pay for it.
No. Can I pay for it? For your ring?
It was the first one actually.
Wow.
The first championship. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. That was very cool. It was very nice of them to give me one.
Yeah. What's like your favorite out of the last 4 years of the Warriors rings? Like all of them have like new things on them. Like some of them have like the different diamonds. Do you have a favorite or the one that you'd have to stick with?
I'd have to. I'm not saying it because it's the one that I had. I think it just meant so much to that town, right? Like you're never gonna. They were so bad for so long, and they hadn't won in 40 years. And that first one was special. I was on, like part of the parade. Like that whole ride was so much fun. Having just worked with Steph on our cover a couple years before that, like. Or right around that time, actually, we were working with Steph as our cover. So like all of that, just kind of like working together in my city, like was really cool.
Okay, who has the best shoe game? But also, which NBA player has the best shoe?
Oh, wow.
Fit and form, all of it.
The best shoe game. I mean, Chris Paul's got a legacy there, and people don't even know. Like he's got grills that you would not believe. So he's up there in terms of shoe game. Best signature shoe? It depends on what you mean. Like if to play basketball, I would say toss up between Kobe and PG. But the best looking shoe, I mean, there's different silhouettes. I think the new LeBron 20 is actually pretty sick.
Yeah.
After a couple years where I was like, I don't really get the direction that they're going. The LeBron 20 is really dope.
What would you rate your shoe game, 1 through 10?
Well, I used to have 700 pairs of shoes, and I have a bunch of grills. I also have ones that were like samples, like that were made for me for a variety of reasons. So yeah, I probably rank up there.
I just saw this video on TikTok where it's this kid and he's in 9th grade, also 15, and he has the biggest shoe size like ever. It's bigger than Shaq's and everything. And Under Armour, Under Armour like made him his own shoe. I thought that was so cool.
No, super dope. And it was so cool of Shaq to send him those shoes.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Speaks to how awesome.
What size
he
are
is.
you?
I'm a 15.
Okay, that's like I feel like that's. I wonder what the median NBA size shoe is. I feel like maybe 15.
Right around there, probably.
Probably something like that.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the funniest NBA player?
Probably Karl Anthony Towns.
Really? I feel like it's interesting
people
don't
know him. Who?
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, you don't know this?
I didn't know he was that funny. Well, I mean,
God.
like, look, I've obviously have spent time. Maybe Anthony hasn't opened up to me as much, but like, Cat, like you get to know him. He is hilarious. Yeah, super funny.
Interesting. You learn something new every day. I love that. Now I'm like gonna look at Cat in a whole different light.
Totally.
Is there a certain NBA player that you really feel a close bond with? You guys are just besties.
Him for sure. He was one of my groomsmen for my wedding. Him definitely. There were 3 other NBA players that were at my wedding or were invited to my wedding. KD, Paul George, and Harrison Barnes. And then Kat. So those are the 4.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is going to get this could get hotter than Kelly. This could get hotter than Kelly. What rating in 2K would you give my podcasting skills?
I'd say potential rating is like you have 98 probably.
Aww.
Potential.
Okay, that's fine.
I think right now you're like a solid 87.
Okay, I'm fine with that because like Mikhail, I'll probably get traded to the Nets and then I'll just be like
You'll be the star.
You know?
Got it.
So now for this last segment, we go Mugsy or Manute. Mugsy Bogues, really short. Manute Bol, really tall. We're teammates at one point, so it's just like a this or that type action. But we got to go fast.
Got it.
Being a lawyer or being a video game icon?
Let's just say like a little bit video game icon.
Just a tad bit?
Just
okay,
a tad.
That's fine. Playing video games or going to a game?
Oh, wow. These days, probably playing video games. I mean, it's so hard for me to go to basketball games now. Like, it's insane. It's really difficult.
Because your mind's just running.
No, well, yeah, but also like, I love seeing the fans, but it gets a little like overwhelming at games sometimes.
I get that.
Yeah.
Dunks or 3-pointers?
I'm always dunks.
Winning a Super Bowl or winning a Champions League final?
Winning a Super Bowl. For sure.
Yeah, but like the rest of the world would say Champions League final.
We live in America.
Well, I would say Champions League
okay,
final. So
fair enough.
I have a different, diverse
Got
answer.
it.
Yeah. Because I'm different like that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to be a 98.
Yeah.
Instagram or TikTok?
Probably TikTok.
Love it. Me too.
I knew you would say
Everyone
that.
says well, yeah, I guess that's probably a given.
Yeah.
Probably has, I feel like that has me written all
Well,
over
I've had
it,
a lot of fun on TikTok because I like have kind of gone back to what was so great about my social media at the beginning of my career, which was to self-deprecate or like deprecate others. Like not in a mean way, but like kind of clap.
Yeah.
TikTok allows me to do that a little bit more than.
Let's run that up on TikTok. Let's deprecate. I love it. Watching a game in real life or at home?
I mean, it's still amazing to watch a game in real life for sure. Yeah.
There's some of those guys where I think it's so fun when you see these people and you're like, wow, you don't realize how incredible they are until you see them in person. It's crazy.
And then like sometimes the size and the speed of the game.
Yeah.
The speed especially, it's just like, this is another level.
Yeah. Kawhi to me is one of those people where, of course, we know how amazing he is, but there's something that when you're sitting in crypto, I was about to say Staples, crypto, when guys just sort of bounce off of him and you don't really see that on the TV and in person, it's crazy to be able to see that.
For sure.
Zion or Ja?
Now or eventually? Bro, you probably mean eventually. Man,
Eventually.
That one's so close.
I mean, it's sad to see he's not even playing in the first round.
I'm really close with Zion, so I'll take Zion.
Okay. New York or LA?
For what, basketball or for?
Life. Just living. Out in the town.
New York.
Really?
I know.
You live here.
I know.
I'm confused by that.
I know.
But it's okay.
It's just, there's something about New York. I don't know
That's
what
true.
it is.
It is
Every
very
time I go out
special.
there, I'm like, wow. I would never live there, I don't think.
So then LA.
It's just too much.
If I asked you, where would you rather live? Where would you rather?
Where I'd rather live is LA, but where I'd rather go for a week, New York.
Yeah.
But that's also probably because the grass is greener, right? Like if you live here, it's like,
that's what I feel that way too. Ronaldo or Messi?
Wow, you can't go wrong with either of those guys.
True. 2 goats.
Probably just Messi because of the recency. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Final question. Me or Doris Burke? Ooh. Okay, well, we know his answer. Me.
Yes, sure.
Bye.
We'll go with that.
Great. Thanks for watching. To check out all the fun Ronnie and I had after the show, make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram @SloaneKnows. Plus, you can listen to the podcast anywhere you get your podcast, and make sure to leave us a review. Links are in the show notes. And don't forget, Sloane has an E.
From Jam Street Media.